Hello everybody and welcome to today's live album reaction. So, first things first, most importantly, if you donate to our channel, we will guarantee and prioritize an album reaction for you. Now, because nobody has donated to our channel today, we're going to actually react to a non-paid request. So let's have a look at what that is. Hopefully Brett and everybody else will be able to see this. Can you see it, Brett?
Yep, I can see it now.
So it's come through from Rabbiteh3824, who says that he or she is going to subscribe in hopes that we listen to Bad Religion's album Suffer. So this was from our Ignition, The Offspring review. So yeah, good news. We are going to listen and react to Bad Religion's album Suffer. So, Brett, can you see the Spotify page as well?
I can indeed. I can see Suffer in big letters.
So, does this ring any bells to you? Do you know of this album? Do you know of Bad Religion?
No, I can't say I do. Just about to make out the year, 1988.
1988,
Okay.
yeah.
No, nothing's ringing a bell, I don't think.
Okay. So, I purposely have not done any research on this. Sometimes we get criticised for this. People say we're lazy. But honestly, it's not laziness. We've said this before. We just like to go into an album sort of kind of blind, so to speak, or deaf. Maybe would work better here.
Yeah.
Kind of just don't really want to.
I just had to. Yeah, so I was going to add to that, and also not be influenced, because if we see stuff and says it's been highly recommended or not really well, like we don't want any sort of influence to have an effect on that, which unfortunately it can sometimes do that. So it's going as if someone's going to be listening to it for the first time, and that's why we hope people want to hear reactions from that, because it's imagine if you had the opportunity to listen to someone you hadn't heard before and what it would be like.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is it's going to be something on the rocky side of things, the scale. I think the request itself came from The Offspring, which is that kind of rocky stuff. And I don't know, just get that kind of feeling maybe from the album cover, the name, Bad Religion, and the names of the songs possibly as well. They're all very short songs. Would you go along with that? Would you say you're expecting someone to a bit rocky, punky maybe?
Yeah, listen, we don't want to. Yeah, I don't go down the sort of stereotypical type things, but with the album cover, the font as well, they are cliche kind of, and the fact is more reason the fact it was from the Offspring video as well. Probably there's more to there, but we have fallen down that trap a number of times as well, where we're expecting one thing and it turns out it's been something quite different. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yes, I think it probably will be.
Well, let's go for it. Starting with You Are the Government. We're going to be pausing this a lot because the songs are so short.
Oh, so, yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Brett, tell me if you can hear as well.
Subconscious edge as old glory maintains your consciousness.
Okay, so very short, but I'm going to be saying that a lot. So actually, I probably won't keep repeating that. We just have to get used to that. They are very short songs, right? So, um, yeah, this was really interesting for me because for a few reasons. Firstly, it sounded very Green Day like in terms of
Hmm.
just the style of the music and especially the lyrics as well, or not the lyrics, but the sound of the guy with the lyrics who was singing, the main singer. Um, and it also doesn't sound like 80s music for me at all. Um, I would say this sounds more like late 90s. I could imagine this sort of being. So that really surprised me. When I think of the 80s, I don't think of this at all. Um, but yeah, I mean, if this is a sign of things to come, I don't know. I don't mind this. This is actually all right. I've said it before. I like Green Day. Um, so if it's going to be along these lines, sort of a bit punky, but in this kind of style, I don't know, then it should be okay for me. Um, but yeah, I didn't think it was a particularly memorable song. Again, it's so short; it's going to struggle to be that memorable. But I quite didn't mind it. Quite enjoyed that in a way. What about you? How did you find it?
Yeah, exactly some of the same points here. I was thinking very Green Day like. And the biggest ones I said, agreeing with you, is that it didn't sound like from the 80s. Now, granted, no, this is late 80s and reflecting like towards maybe the mid to late 90s, but I would say even early noughties. Yeah, it just didn't have that sort of feel to it at all. Very short, but I said we'll get that one out of the way because obviously all the other tracks are going to be like that. Um, and yeah, that was. I'll make it sound like in a negative way, like tolerable, but yeah, that was all right. My concern might be, especially with the other songs also being short, how much variation are we gonna have? And again, I don't like to assume and jump ahead negatively possible, but that's initially where vibe might be going for me there. But as an opening song, you said there, yeah, not memorable, but enjoyable.
Okay, let's go on to track two, which is A Thousand More Fools.
I heard them say that the beach shall rain on earth. Phantasmal myriads of Satan-colic mirth. I've seen the rapture in a star of baby's eyes. Inchoate Peter to the Lord of the Flies. So what does it mean when your mind starts to stray? The light has got thick images of love on the way. Brother, you better get down on your knees and pay. 1,000 more fools are being born every fucking day. They try to tell me that the man was on the way. With microwave transmission, aim on Mars every day. The master all obsequious, contented in their sleep. The vortex of their minds has come within the murky deep. So what does it mean when your mind starts to stray? The light has got big images of love on the way. Brother, you better get down on your knees and pay. 1,000 more fools are being born every fucking day.
Right, Bretty, it's your turn to speak now. Go first.
Oh God, yeah. I'll say the first thing. I was a little disappointed that finished as short and quick as it did. Actually, I felt like that one could have gone on just a little bit longer. Just almost, even if it ended up just repeating something what it just done already. That felt very head boppy. Still in the same vein. Still kind of got that Green Day thing. Only I would say the singing voice sounded a little bit less like Green Day than the previous track. Um, Even though I didn't really pick up fully what was being sung and said there, it it wasn't due to his voice not being clear, just very fast and just a very fast tempo song. But I felt my head bopping to that, and as I said, I actually thought like that could have gone on a bit longer, which is not often you like to say about, or what we normally end up saying about for most rock or hardcore rock kind of. I know it's punk rock style of thing. So yeah, I thought that was alright.
Yeah, I quite like that. I'd say kind of on a par to the first song. I was also bopping my head along, bopping my head, but like I was with the first song as well. So, but I would agree with you actually that yeah, the voice didn't sound as Green Day-ish on this particular track actually. Another thing I thought I'd point out as well. I know we're not very good at picking up lyrics anyway. It just feels like, especially with this type of music, the instrumentals are quite overpowering. It's like the voice is sort of quite far in the background. I mean, I could actually, to be fair, I could actually pick up on the lyrics to an extent, but yeah, it just had that kind of effect where it feels quite distant, I would say, with a lot of focus on the instrumentals. But I actually quite like this style of singing, this sort of punk rock. And again, it comes back to what I said earlier about quite liking Green Day. It's a very kind of, it's like, I don't know, always sort of feels like storytelling. It's not that sort of rock where you're sort of shouting and screaming, or I can't stand that. So I actually quite like the singing on this. So we move on to track 3, which is How Much Is Enough. It's, yeah, this is even shorter than the previous song.
Tell me can the hate chain be broken? Production and consumption, the fight our hollow lives. Avarice has led us across the ocean for a land that's better, much more bountiful and wide. But when mankind finally comes to realize his serpent has become his demise, how much is it enough to kill yourself? That quantity is known today as we blow ourselves away. Tell me, is there anything so sure? Capacity, tenacity, capacity for more. I could all get beat until he suffers. Infirmity of man is but owned by a selfish cure. When will mankind finally come to realize his serpent has become his demise? How much is enough to kill yourself? That quantity is known today as we blow ourselves away.
Okay. Yeah. This one maybe felt a little different. I mean, it probably felt faster than the other ones. I mean, the other ones weren't exactly slow, but this one felt even faster in a way. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It was over before it started. Started really. It felt like short and sweet. Yeah, it's all right. Didn't mind it. Don't know. Well, what about you? How did you find it?
Yeah. Oh God, it's hard when you're struggling after track 3. But yeah, again, boppy, enjoyed it. Like I said before, I know I go back onto the lyrics side of things. I know this type of music generally. I know Green Day might say exception. Normally, most time with rock, I'm like sometimes the lyrics aren't always the main. But it's always generally been, as you said before, like more about the music and stuff there. But I feel when the music's been that quite similar, I feel maybe Luke's do need to put a bit more into it. But yeah, listen, it short, sweet. Like the track before, I felt like this one again could have probably just gone on a bit longer to get more out of it potentially. I was another sort of head boppy one, and again not too bad. I
Yeah,
wonder if
so
they did actually answer in there how much is enough, if it was actually answered in that song.
yeah, I think I was just to add as well. Actually, I was probably maybe struggling a bit more picking up on the lyrics with this one than the previous track. Yeah, the music's definitely overpowering the vocals, I'd say. But yeah, like you said, it's kind of just what happens with this sort of genre of music, I guess. generally. So let's go on to track 4. Just a minute. Oh. Brett, can you see the screen?
Yep.
So this is When.
I've seen a lot of things in 5 years. I struggle just to hold back the tears. But every fucking where I go, I see the path those that I know will spell the termination of us all. Someone's gotta tell me, do you see that everything around you has a hidden tragedy? Seeds of happiness have never found a place to go, and our generation doesn't know. When will you try to change the logarithmic pace of kissing things goodbye? When will you know that human life is so short, death is all so slow? I've tried to make things make sense, but I can't. I'm happy just to watch them all and laugh. And if you think you got it made, just revel in your selfish ways, 'cause when the world stops turning, so will you. Good.
Right, Brett, over to you then.
Oh, again, why that's such an abrupt fit. It was just as it was changing there, right at the end there. It's been really promising. I knew obviously it was going to be a short song. You probably noticed I was trying some more because I thought maybe this one here with the title being "When" with a question mark, maybe again could pick more something up from the lyric side of things. Which again was difficult too. Again, it's not because they're not clear. It's just so fast tempo and just also not picking up on some things from there. This is my favourite on the album so far, but it feels weird saying that because it's not been that much different to the others. But no, I felt like that, with the lyrics being a bit clearer to hear, I mean, there's just a good blend of all the ones I had fun. That little change up at the end as well just made it that little bit something as well. That real strange review reaction to it there. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind with this song, you actually just said it there. It definitely felt clearer, the lyrics on this one, than certainly the previous one. In fact, probably the clearest so far. So I really could pick up on, I could hear the lyrics like word for word pretty much, but I just still couldn't really understand what it was about just because I'm terrible at understanding songs. So yeah, I don't know, for me it's just kind of on a par with the others really. Similar kind of head boppy. Didn't mind it. So I think up to this point, I don't mind. I'm enjoying this to a certain extent. It is quite samey, I'd say, so far. Let's see what happens next. The next song's a long song because it's 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So let's go. Ooh, just a minute.
Hey, everybody's looking, but they never can see all the corruption and the dishonesty. Think about the time and places you never known. You're a man torn out, yet you're alone. So I give you me, I give you nothing. I give you me, I give you nothing.
Okay, Give You Nothing. So I think that actually might be my favourite track so far. I felt like this one felt a bit different. I felt like it had a bit more to it. We had different kind of paces going on. It sort of slowed down, went faster, slowed down, which I quite liked. But it just had a bit of a change up going on. And the vocals as well felt different. It felt more shouty, which I'm not usually a fan of, but I did quite like this. And I felt like elements of it, even though it was obviously a very punk rock song, I don't know, just for some reason, something about it felt just a bit rocky as well, like not just punk rocky, but rock in parts as well. Yeah, I don't know, something about this song just seemed to have a little bit more to it. It felt a bit different. And I think for those reasons, it's probably my favourite so far. Quite like this one. What about you, Backstreet Brett?
Yeah, it's funny. Even though it's not that much longer, it actually felt a lot longer than the other ones. And maybe that's because of the point. What I also liked, the same with you, like we did have a bit of a change up in terms of the pace. It felt like almost could have been two different songs put together in that regard. And yeah, it said the same thing, sort of, as you said, was shouty, but in again a tolerable, not too bad sort of way. Head boppy as always. And yeah, I quite like that. I put that on par with the one before, as sort of the two favourites on the album so far. So yeah, pretty good.
Okay, so we've got an even longer track now. Next one, track 6, Land of Competition. So here we go.
They see there's a girl who's afraid of the world, so she stays at home. Also a boy who seems so lost in his joy, he's all alone. The cameras on them, they're in the land of competition. Southern California air beat down, and they know they're the best 'cause of the way they are dressed. You can let you out and welcome in their home. Hey, see, there's a girl who sits and watches the world from her blue screen. Also a boy who truly wants to destroy his hometown scene. They both want to travel to the land of competition. Southern California will destroy them, and they won't be the best, they'll be the posers who dress like the plastic idiots who they copy. Tell me, what do you need to make you happy, and is it out of your reach? Beware of number one, see all the damage that's done, there's so few of them. You won't find too many in the land of competition. Southern California doesn't breathe down. If you just want the best, turn to yourself for the rest, and forget about the ones who have it all. Be careful of the ones who have it all. Be careful of the ones who have it all. Forget about the ones who have it all, yeah.
Okay, Bretsky, over to you.
Yeah, okay. Quite again, vein some of the other songs. Same sort of stuff I've been saying. Head boppy, clear sort of vocals. That even though this one I did feel like I picked up a little bit more. The only thing I didn't really pick up was what was the actual what was the actual competition. It talks about a boy and a girl going to take part in it. Whatever comes to mind when I hear this type of music is like skateboarding or rollerblading. So I wonder if there's anything linked with that there at all. But again, I like the previous one. For such a short time, this again still felt like it was longer than the definitely the previous one. Which I know it is, but in the grand scheme of things, it felt more longer than it did. again, I like this one the same as those two previous ones. I think they're very, very similar in that regard. Obviously, we had that little bit of intro, the, in the middle of just the guitar solo bits as well to change things up a tad. But yeah, otherwise it's on par with those couple of other songs we've just done.
Yeah, this is another one that I quite liked. I felt this one felt more Green Day-esque, I think, because of the sound of the singer's voice on this particular track. Yeah, it was a good sort of up and at you type of song. Like you, obviously picked up on the sort of that instrumental part in the middle, which I quite liked. So I remember looking at your face when that happened. It sort of kind of took us by surprise a little bit. So it was a nice little touch. So yeah, don't really have too much more to say on it other than that. But it's another good one that I quite enjoyed really. So let's move on to track 7, which is Forbidden Beat. So I think this one I didn't like as much as some of the previous ones. I think the reasons why, firstly, it didn't really have a change up at all. Like, I don't know, some of the others we've noticed that, I don't know, sped up and then slowed down or whatever, or had some kind of something going on in the middle, a bit of instrumental. This one didn't have that. It was also another one of those songs where the voice felt quite distant, like quite far in the background. It just didn't make as much as an impression on me as some of the others. Just felt, maybe was lacking something. So it wasn't terrible. It was still similar to the others, but just didn't quite have enough for me to say, I quite like it. So, not one of the better ones. What about you?
I still put it on. I was some of those other ones. I totally get where you're coming from in terms of not having that little bit of something different to make it stand out more. I think for me, the difference element of this one was the sort of style of singing and picture. I know you said it sort of sounded a bit more distant. I get where you're coming from as well. But I felt like I'm not saying it's necessarily higher, but it felt like he was trying to sing a little bit different in this one here. It wasn't too samey in that regard. So that's why I put it on par with the others. But it did miss compared to the others. We're having that extra little something to him there. But otherwise, I thought it was still all right compared with the others.
Well, let's go on then to Best for You.
Premium, you get to focus on the music. Explore a vast catalog.
Okay.
Yeah, you can remind people to donate if we want to listen to.
Come on.
And
Donate so we can get premium.
do an album, and we'll get
Spotify
premium
Premium.
Spotify as well.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, it's a long one today. It's as long as the tracks.
Above us lay the burdens, below us lay the truth. We're somewhere in the middle, and we're all discarded too. Is someone watching over you? Inside they know what's best for you. Just as that tomorrow, if the day is now it's here. But no, it isn't Jesus. Take a look at all your fears. They're all looking down on you. Inside they know what's best for you. Everybody knows 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 what's best for you.
Right, Bretsky, let's go over to you.
Yeah, interesting one there. So I mean, you're the expert with catchy chorus. I wonder if you'll call that sort of a catchy chorus there. I think the standout bits is that for the first time, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, if I missed it there, where we actually heard a bit more from the other band members almost joining in, harmonizing, which I don't think is the right terminology, but getting involved with that there to bring a different feeling to it. I have to say, I haven't said it yet, but I find like the start of every song seems exactly the same, but yet by the time we do get by the end of it or during it, it does feel a little bit different. But I feel like every time it starts, it goes, this is exactly how the other one started. And then we had this sort of faded out of the singing at the end, which I do like a fade out, but the music kept on going and was probably a bit of nothing really, but at least, I mean, it's close to say this is the experimental track of the album so far, based purely on that. Yeah, otherwise, still a lot of the same stuff with the previous one, but at least this had some different elements to it.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention after the previous song, which I forgot to mention, so I'll say it now that you've said it. Yeah, every kind of the start of every song sort of sounds very similar, and it's all, every song has been like up you and at you right from the off. Like I'm hoping there's going to be I don't know, at least one song that just does things a little bit differently. You know, at the start, you just starts off without that sort of punky music right from the get-go, just for a bit of a change up. I really hope we're going to get that, but I won't hold out too much hope. So yeah, I think I preferred this to the previous one. There wasn't too much in the way of lyrics. It was quite repetitive. So yeah, could be classed as catchy in a way, I guess. But I did like that sort of ending as well. That felt a bit different. The way it sort of faded out. Interesting sort of sounds going on. So yeah, it just felt a bit different. But otherwise, yeah, just along the same sort of lines as the other songs, really. So like I say, I think at this point, we're over the halfway stage, I would like if it was just one track, just something a little bit different. I don't know if we're going to get it though. Let's see.
Yeah.
Next up is Suffer, which is the name of the album as well. So maybe we're gonna get something special here.
Did you ever see the concrete stairs in every day? The lunatic, the hypocrite are all lost in the fray. Can't see their lives are just like yours. And undiscovered and undiscovered, you're leading to the gift of hope renewed. Eternity for you, the masses of humanity have always had to suffer. The businessman whose master plan controls the world each day is blind to indications of his species for decay. Can't see his life is just like yours. And underthrown and undiscovered, you're leading to the gift of hope renewed. Eternity for you, the masses of humanity have always had to suffer. People blow their minds, they choose to resign. This deformed society is part of that design. They'll never go away, it's in the cards that way. The masses of humanity have always had to suffer. But you're leading to the gift of hope renewed. Eternity for you, the masses of humanity still clinging to their dignity. The masses of humanity will always have to suffer. Always have to suffer.
Okay, so I felt this one did actually start a little bit differently. Actually, not like greatly, but it wasn't quite as intense right from the get-go like the others. But still, overall, it was a similar-ish type of song. I felt like this was more, like I said, I think in track 2, kind of a bit more sort of spoken, sort of storytelling, not spoken, but storytelling type of singing, rather than the sort of the shouty stuff which we've heard in some of the other tracks. I don't know, just yeah, it was all right. Probably not my favourite song on the album. Probably not the worst either, but they're all kind of much of a muchness, really. I don't know, something about this maybe felt like it could be more of a hit, possibly in a way, even though, although it's too short, really, for it to sort of be a hit, but I don't know, had that kind of feel to it in a way. So, yeah, it was all right. What about you?
Yeah, listen, we spoke about loads of albums time and time ago about, the album name. If there's a track on there with the album name, it puts a different kind of, I won't say pressure on it, but the point was going to be is that there must have been a reason why they chose this particular song title to be for the album. And you kind of made something where it felt like this could have been a release song. It had something, I think it was right, if it had a tiny bit more additional production elements to it, it felt there was something different to it. And yeah, definitely the start felt like, okay, I said not much of a different, but different enough for us to both pick up on it. And I think it had a lot of the elements of some of those previous tracks from the early ones as well. Again, it's on par with most of the other ones from there, but like I said, there was something a slightly that made it stood out a little bit. Like I said, not memorable, stood out, but definitely something about it. But like I said, I think it's just again on par with some of those earlier tracks.
Yeah, okay, so Delirium of Disorder, that sounds quite intense. Let's go for it.
BOD.
Right, Brett Skins, over to you.
Yeah, the start I think sounded a little bit different. I wasn't sure, but jokes aside, I mean that start didn't didn't last that long. We were very quick to go back into normal service resumes. I don't know where to go with this one. Um, Again, was it catchy? It feels like it could have been. It felt very weird. Again, this is probably the most likely to be the experimental track on the album so far. I think the big question is, did I still enjoy it? I feel like I did. Instead of just saying on par with so many others, I think because I won't say it was a bit jokey, but obviously we had those distinctive different elements, and I was singing the title of of the song in there as well. I liked it in a fun way. I feel like it did have enough difference to it to sort of stand out, still be catchy. Whether how memorable it will become, I don't know. But I feel like from that start and that chorus where I'm singing it, I think this will be memorable. I think I will hear in my head delirium of disorder. I don't know, just something
Yeah.
more rockier than that. But yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I think, well, a few things to mention. So yeah, I was crying out for a different type of start, but I didn't mean like in this way. where it just, after a few seconds, it just
You need to
goes
be clear
into
then.
it anyway. Yeah, but to be fair, it was very different at the start, I suppose, for the first few seconds. Yeah, this was an unusual song. This felt different to the others because of the style of, I don't know, yeah, delirium of disorder. So I think the fact we both remember it and singing it means it was catchy and it's done a job on us. It's and like you, it's kind of like, I don't know what to think about this. It's did I really like it? Probably not really, but at the same time there was something about it that made it quite, I don't know, enjoyable in some respects. Yeah, it just felt different.
I want to explain. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and we move on to part 2, the numbers game. It was part 1.
Yeah. Have we had a part one unless?
Right. Well, anyway, it is now part 2, the numbers game. Here we go.
In superficial progress, they call it liberation. With opiates of silicon, big brother schemes to rule the nation. We're one nation under God, we stand above the rest. With mighty high technology, we're never second best. Our specialty is infiltration. Prepare yourself for subjugation, victory through domination. Trepidatious bombs up in a big eye in the sky. The government observes them with their own electric eye. We're one nation under God, we stand above the rest. With mighty high technology, we're never second best. Our specialty is infiltration. Prepare yourself for subjugation. Automatons, illiterates, and indigents of every shape and size. Don't stop beneath this cruel crusade, participate in their own demise. We're one nation under God, we stand above the rest. With mighty high technology, we're never second best. Our specialty is infiltration. So pack your bags, you cripple nation, victory through domination.
Okay, so I felt that was probably a bit more Green Day like some of these songs have been. That was one of them for me. yeah, quite shouty type of way of singing. I think with this one, there was a little part where I think we heard some other voices there. I don't know if they were counting, but yeah, other than that, this didn't really make much of an impression on me. Nothing really stood out with this one. So obviously the previous song we talked about how they were repeating the sort of the title of the song. So this one, yeah, just nothing really to it for me to sort of say, oh yeah, that was it, that was a good part, or that was interesting. I don't know. Yeah, nothing more than average for me with this one. What about you?
Yeah, I think average is probably the best word for it. Again, if this had been earlier on the album, we probably would have said the same things we said about the earlier tracks. You know, actually, it's quite head boppy. It's alright. The lyric, you know, the singing voices, but I say we've done a fair few of those same type songs, and now just merged in. Doesn't now we've had something that's been a bit different. It's now just becomes sort of an average type one. So yeah, it goes back to some of those earlier previous ones, the head boppiness, all that sort of stuff there. But otherwise, a little bit forgettable.
Yeah. Well, we've got an absolute mammoth length of a song coming up now. What can you do at 2 minutes 44 seconds?
Wow.
So I'm expecting big things with this one. Let's see.
And some swear words, it seems, as well.
Swear words as well.
So you waste another day getting older and gray in the head. And you're hearing lots of stories about the happy time you have ahead. There are other folks in power, so you kick back and follow behind. And although the world rotates itself, the only thing it twisted your mind. You see the world falling apart at the rifts, and surprisingly the leaders can't make any sense of it. You mean nothing to the world, where all someone else is full, but oh, what can you do? Yeah, you wasted time on the night if you get stuck in a rock and roll bow. Do you find it more rewarding to compete with more too loud and loud? They seem to be in power, so I kick back and follow behind. And I watch them as they fuck up every good thing on this earth with their minds. You see the world falling apart in the rifts, and surprisingly the leaders can't make any sense of it. You mean nothing to the world, where all someone else is cool, but oh, what can you do? Joe! Yeah, you waste another day getting older and gray in the head. And we're hearing lots of stories about the happy time we have ahead. The morons are in power, so we kick back and follow behind. And we watch them as they fuck up every good thing on this earth with their mind. See the world falling apart at the rifts, and surprisingly the leaders can't make any sense of it. We mean nothing to the world, really someone else's fool, but oh, what can you do? I say, oh, what can you do? Go!
Right. What do you think of that song then, Brett?
Yeah, that again, like with the other long ones, felt longer. And I think the reason being, I think there was lots of, I'll say lots of it. There was different elements to that song. There, it felt like almost a complete song. Our usual line, you know, very Green Day like, that kind of sort of storytelling, singing elements to it. There, I think parts was catchy. We had some instrumental bits that weren't too too intense or too rocky from that there. And I think it was just a nice balance of all the other stuff that we've liked from the previous songs. Well, for me, I'm talking to the 7 hours, half a year. For me, it seems to take all like the things I've enjoyed from the previous songs into one song, and I felt like that's one of the more complete songs from that. Again, I wish I was able to pick up more in the lyrics a bit more. But yeah, I think, yeah, as I said, I think that for me was one of the more complete type songs there. And also the start was a bit different as well. We didn't have that little rocky bit at the start. We just went straight into singing. So again, not a massive change difference, but enough to, again, point it out.
Yes, some of the things that stood out for me, which you've already mentioned. Firstly, the start, it went the lyric, got straight into the lyrics straight away, along with that same sort of that sound as well from the instruments as well. But so that was different, yeah. And like you said as well, it felt more Green Day-esque, more like storytelling type of style for sure. It had a sort of instrumental part in the middle as well. So it just felt more like a sort of complete song. Now obviously that probably is because it was longer, so it was allowed to be like that because of so we could have that instrumental part in the middle, because I think some of the other songs, they have ended very abruptly, whereas with this it just felt more like a complete song. It was still a short song though, like anything that's under 3 minutes is still a short song, right? In normal terms, but okay. So the next track, I think, is the shortest on the album. I mean, normally this would be like an interlude, wouldn't it, on an album? But here it's just a proper song, right? Do What You Want.
Anticipation breed apathy. I sit on my ass all goddamn day. I'm misanthropic and void with nothing to say. What you must do all you can. Break all the fucking rules and go to hell with Superman and die like the champion. Yeah, hey! Hey, I don't know if the billions will survive, but I'll believe in God when 1 and 1 are 5. When monitor is met and I'm rocked to the core, I'll tear down the buildings just to pass through the door. So do what you must, do all you can. Break all the fucking rules and go to hell with Superman and die like a champion. Yeah, hey!
Right. It's actually probably one of my favourite songs on the album. I like the style of that. Again, I keep saying it all the time. It did feel very Green Day-esque. I do like Green Day. I don't know. It had that sort of, that Green Day sort of style of singing with this one, very much so. I know it was really short, but I thought the lyrics were very clear and obvious. Even I picked up on this one. I think even I could tell you what this one was about. I just think for those reasons, that's why I liked it. Just easy to understand, easy to pick up on, like the style of singing. Just felt that real sort of, I don't know, sort of punk rock that I like. So, one of the best songs on the album for me so far. What about you?
Interesting. Again, when it started, it sounded exactly like some of that, and even what else is going on when I feel like we've had this exact same song already. Is it just like a different, slightly version of a different one? But it didn't, and there was something about it that made it than others. And again, I can't quite explain. I said maybe some things you've said, obvious lyrics have come up. It's where maybe the shortness of it probably helped with this one there as well. And the same sort of Green Day, Offspring kind of feel there as well. Short, sweet, and it was all right actually. Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got part 4, the index fossil.
Okay.
We're widespread and well-fed, the earth's rotating is in our head, oh yeah. We're dominant and prominent, and all our need is omnipotent, oh yeah. And immortality's in our mastermind, and we destroy everything that we find. And tomorrow when the human clock stops and the world's not ticking, the index fossil buried in our own debris. We're listless, promiscuous, and life to us still hit on us, oh yeah. We're savoir-faire and debonair, and things we do and never find and get, oh yeah. And immortality's in our mastermind, and we destroy everything that we find. And tomorrow when the human clock stops and the world stops ticking, the index fossil buried in our own debris. See, immortality is in our mastermind, and we destroy everything that we find. And tomorrow when the human clock stops and the world stops ticking, the index fossil buried in our own debris. In our own debris.
Right. Retsky, over to you.
Yeah, I think again the standout bit for me, and I see you sort of reacted to it again, when it's the instrumental changed up. It almost went into slow-mo version, went into a different universe type thing, and then sort of came back to the original song. And I quite like that sort of effect and touch to it. But otherwise, I think that was very real sort of standout-ish thing in comparison to the others. Otherwise, yeah, I'd just be repeating myself too many times.
Wow, is that it? Okay.
That is it. Yeah. Where's part 3 and part 1? That's what I really want to know.
Good question. So, yeah, I agree with you with that. I think as I was listening to this, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not as good as the last track. I really like that previous track. But then, yeah, when it went into that instrumental part, and like you say, it slowed down. I like that a lot. It had a real contrast to it. And then there were no lyrics during that part. And then it sped up again, and then the lyrics came back. So that was a nice touch. That's I think what I'm looking for with these songs, because they're so samey. Just want something in there that just makes it a little bit different, which quite a few or number of songs have had, not all of them. So yeah, I think for me that instrumental change up kind of saved this song, so that I'm not, otherwise I'd probably be saying, oh yeah, not that great, getting towards the end of the album. But yeah, because of that, I'd say yeah, that made it half decent. Okay, so we move on to the last track. Brett, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Which is, what does that say?
You hear me?
Yeah, pessimistic lines. Here we go. Sorry guys, a little connection problem. Let's continue. Brett, hopefully you can hear.
And to experience a bitter scolding end, and we're the only ones who can perceive it. But others sing of beauty and the story that's unfolded as one that uses praise and ritual.
Okay. Yeah, so I had some connection problems with that one from my side. So I was kind of focusing on that whilst at the same time trying to pick up on this song as well. Yeah, I didn't mind that one. It felt very punky, punk rocky. Very short, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. Don't really have much more to say on it other than that. What about you, Bretsky?
Yeah, again, I won't be able to say too much different to previous things we said there. What I did find with this one, I felt like I suppose it is classed as the chorus part, had quite potential with the lyrics, so still out there. What sort of let it down a little bit for me was I felt like maybe actually the song itself, like I said, we had that same repetitive sort of guitar beat all the way through. But for maybe for the chorus, if it does something a little bit different, I feel like that could have really made a difference to that particular song. But listen, I don't want to go into too much on their style because that's their style and they do what they do, however they want to do it. So I'm not a music producer anyway, but that's just a felt for me because I felt like that almost could have been a standout chorus part, but missed it from there. Otherwise, like I said, it then just goes back to being a bit unforgettable with the rest of some of the earlier tracks. And a strange way to also end it because, yeah, it doesn't feel much different to what we've done already.
Yeah, so if we're summing up, I'd say I'm relatively positive about this album. I am partial to a bit of punk rock, even though like rock isn't my usual scene. Yeah, there's maybe not really a song on there that I could say I really, really like and I'm going to want to put on an album. There's a number of ones that I quite liked. I mean, particularly that one towards the end, that really short song. That was pretty good. I just think maybe there's a lack of variety. I think the song that stands out the most in terms of being different was that one about where it kept repeating the chorus and it
EOD.
felt, yeah. That one was a bit
Delirium.
unusual.
Of
Is it?
Defiance.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So that was, the most unusual of the tracks. But I don't know, it just would have been nice to have something even more different, just a slow track or something, a bit of a ballad. I don't know. But yeah, I get this is what their music. This is what they do. Another thing that stands out for me, I have to keep pinching myself. Right, this is actually from the 1980s. This this is just not 80s music at all. Like when I think of the 80s, this really could be late 90s, like you said at the beginning, early early noughties for sure. This feels like way ahead of its time. It's really interesting actually. So, and another thing that's also I found quite interesting, even though this album, let me just check, I've turned it off, was only 26 minutes long, it felt a hell of a lot longer. I guess because there was just so many songs, 15 songs, as short as they were, just having so many songs, even though they were kind of I've just been sort of criticising them in the way that they're all generally quite similar. It's still, I thought that actually made the album sort of stand out, make it feel like a lot longer than what it actually was. But yeah, I was quite enjoyed that. So thank you for the request. Brett, what about you? How did you find it?
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree with, I think my point of view is exactly the same as your ones, just to recap some of them there, that for a very short album, yes, still felt long. I know we were talking in between, and I'll put that to the side, but I think that aside, it still felt like it could have been, and I think that's what they said, because I think there's still a lot of tracks on there, and a lot of the tracks were quite the same, so that probably was to do with that there potentially. Even though I didn't mind most of the songs, even though it was critical, just say, felt the same, there wasn't much difference in some parts there. None wouldn't get onto a playlist, as you said as well. And And the big thing, yeah, as I said, just to remind myself that this was, and again, I know it's the late 80s, but it's still classed in the 80s and doesn't have that kind of feel. And I feel like we're not stupid enough to know there would have been this sort of genre of music at that time. And, you know, the more popular type of music of that time wouldn't be this. So we know it's not a case of there was no such thing as this kind of music and this day. It's something we just don't associate it with it there. And it's probably testament to punk music itself. I know it would have been from early punk music from the 70s, but that's when we didn't have much of it in the 80s, then got back popular again. But I think the point I was going to make is that kind of punk music kind of feels very traditional, feel very loyal to it. As you said, it sounds a lot like Green Day, or it sounds a lot after. They all sound quite similar there, really. So I'm glad I've been introduced to it. And I said I don't think most songs were that bad, and definitely was potential for them there. Just not good enough to put a song on my playlist, and wouldn't rush to listen to them again. However, I would be open to, if they have got anything else, to see what that's like. Have they stuck to just doing really short punk rock songs? Are they from even earlier? Do they go later? Was this a one-off type thing? So is there enough intrigueness to know if there's what else could be there?
Yeah, I think off video now, once we stop recording, we'll have a quick look on Wikipedia to see what they're about, and yeah, be quite interesting to see. So guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon for the next one. Take care. Goodbye.